Hello there, stargazers from all around the world. My name is Luis Miguel Azorin and I welcome you to a new video on astronomical highlights from Astro Academy. As you know, at Astro Academy you can learn astronomy and astrophotography with our videos and our podcast. In addition, you have our online academy at your disposal where you'll find full courses on astrophotography and image processing, as well as free resources you can download. April is a very attractive month for hobbyists and astrophotographers. We'll have clearly defined lunar phases to schedule our observations, a classic spring meteor shower, interesting planetary conjunctions, and the chance to capture some approaching comets. We're going to see it all night by night with practical tips so you can plan your observation outings. We start with the phases of the moon that set the pace for this month's night sky. On April 2nd, we'll have a full moon, known as the pink moon, a traditional name referring to the pink flowers that bloom in spring in the northern hemisphere, and although the moon's actual color doesn't change, it's a great chance to capture its glow over flowery landscapes. April 17th will be a new moon, a fantastic phase because it removes moonlight from the sky and allows us to observe faint objects like galaxies, nebulae, and the subtlest details of the Milky Way in practically optimal conditions. Between them, on April 10th and 24th, the last and first quarters will occur, respectively. These phases are ideal for observing and photographing the lunar surface in great detail thanks to the grazing light that highlights craters, mountain ranges, and lunar valleys. Let's move on now to the most prominent planetary events of this month of April. April 2026 presents us with several opportunities to observe interesting planetary encounters and challenges for those seeking visually attractive events. On April 3rd, Mercury will reach its greatest western elongation, which means that at dawn we can try to locate it relatively high above the eastern horizon just before sunrise. This is the best time of the month to try to see it with binoculars or a telescope before the sunlight washes it out. Around April 18th, a four-body planetary alignment will occur: Saturn, Mars, Mercury, and Neptune in the morning sky. Their proximity to the Sun will make observation very difficult with the naked eye, but with binoculars or small telescopes during dawn, we should be able to observe at least the brightest of this group of planets, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn, occupying a very small area of the sky. This event can be quite a challenge for observation and photography. We now move on to the highlighted astronomical events of the month. One of the most anticipated events in April is the Lyrid Meteor shower, which will be active from approximately April 16th to 26th, reaching its peak between April 22nd and 23rd. The Lyrid Meteor shower comes from the remains of Comet C 1861 G1 Thatcher, and they are well known for their relatively fast and sometimes especially bright meteors. While they don't reach the rates of the most intense showers, like the Geminids or the Perseids, under dark skies they can offer elegant displays with between 10 and 20 meteors per hour around their peak. In addition to the meteor shower, throughout the month we'll have interesting encounters between the moon and bright stars or planets. For example, around April 6th, the moon will pass near Antares, the main red giant star of Scorpius, creating a very attractive color contrast for visual observation and photography if viewed before dawn. Another interesting event is the appearance of possible nearby or active comets in the sky, like Comet C 2025 R3 Pan-STARRS, which according to some predictions could reach magnitudes visible with binoculars toward the end of April, becoming one of the brightest comets of 2026 to date for observation with instruments and in dark skies. And as always, we end our ephemeris with some photography tips. April brings us very diverse photographic opportunities. For the full moon on April 2nd, use long telephoto lenses of 200 mm or more. This way, you can capture the texture of its surface, especially if you include it in landscapes with spring elements. The new moon on April 17th is the best night of the month to explore the deep sky with your astrophotography gear. And also, at this time of year, the galactic center begins to appear at more reasonable hours, so it can be a perfect opportunity to take out your camera, your tripod, and a fast wide-angle lens and capture the first Milky Ways of the year. The Lyrid shower can be an excellent target for meteor photography. Use a wide-angle lens, high ISO, and exposures between 15 and 30 seconds. Look for dark skies away from light pollution and point toward the radiant of the constellation Lyra, near the star Vega, to maximize your chances. If you are trying to capture the morning planetary alignment, prepare your gear ahead of time. Make sure of the direction the sun will rise and use a medium or long focal length lens. Use the brightest planets like Mercury or Mars to help fine-tune the framing. Introducing landscape elements in the foreground can take your photography to a higher dimension. And that's it for the astronomical ephemeris for April 2026. A month with a fantastic combination of optimal lunar phases, meteor showers, and challenging planetary alignments. Whether you have a camera or not, the important thing is to look at the sky and enjoy each of these moments. See you again in the next Astro Academy video.